Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Namaste Experience. That's what we're into, the experience. Not trying to figure it out, just being in the experience. And we're going to be starting every day to do that by sharing this opening affirmation, our morning affirmation. So let me put this up on the screen so you can all see it. And we're going to all say this together. Those of us who are here at Namaste Village and wherever you are, please join in as we say, I am as God created me. If I remain as God created me, fear has no meaning. Evil is not real, and misery and death do not exist. I am as God created me. Indeed. That's a big one, isn't it? Because everything we've ever been told is that I am not as I was created. In fact, usually what we're told is how we were created was sinful, original sin. How we were created was flawed, was somehow dirty. I mean, we've been sold this from the very beginning. And yet it's the exact opposite of the truth. We focus so much on original sin that we neglect original innocence. That's the key, original innocence. That's what it really means to say, I am as God created me. I'm innocent, I am whole, I am complete right here, right now. And it can't change. That is forever true. There's nothing I can do to change that. And that's the greatest news in the world because I've tried very hard. I've tried very hard to change that and to be something other than what I truly am. Wow, it's such a beautiful release to know that I failed miserably. I failed in being something other than whole. I failed in being something other than complete and healed and perfect and lovable. That's the best news we can receive, that I am perfectly lovable, perfectly innocent, this and every moment. I am as God created me. So that's how we're going to begin our sessions from this point on, because I think it's just an affirmation, but a statement of truth that will go deeper and deeper and deeper every time we say it. At first, maybe it will just sort of glance off the mind, and we'll say the words, but they won't quite hit. But if we keep saying them and keep being, having the willingness to receive it, it'll day by day go deeper and deeper until it just finally lands. And I say, oh my gosh, this is the reality. This is the truth. So I'm going to go ahead and put up on the screen what we're going to share today. So here we go. All right. If you could only realize what you already know, then every question in your mind would instantly dissolve. That's an interesting statement. If you could only realize what you already know. I love these statements because the mind has a hard time wrapping around them. The brain, the intellect has a very difficult time understanding because it can't. That doesn't make any sense. But if you take it in and really just rest with it, it hits like, if I could just finally realize what I've always known to be true, then every question in my mind would instantly dissolve. You wouldn't even care if your questions were answered because you'd realize that they were all meaningless. All of the questions were meaningless. Only the answer remains, an answer without a question. Until now, you were the question because you were confused about your own reality or who you are in the sight of God. You were confused about who you are. Therefore, you were the actual question. But now that you know who you are, and what is that? The perfect extension of love itself. That's the reality. Now that you know who you are, you know yourself with a capital S, to be the only answer you need. When you truly know this, then freedom from limited self-identity, or who you think you are, freedom from that idea, from that concept, is complete. When you finally truly understand this, you're home. The game's over. You're done. What happens then? I don't know. Of course, you still find yourself here for a moment. We like to call this experience the borderland. You find yourself in this borderland. That's kind of what Namaste Village is. It's kind of the borderland experience between heaven and hell, maybe, where you can just rest in the knowledge and the experience of being the whole extension of the perfect love of God. That's who you are. Okay. Realizing what you already know is as simple as opening your eyes and choosing to see what has always been right in front of you. Just opening your eyes and choosing to see what has always been right in front of you. Until now, you've chosen to not see this because you were afraid of what it might mean. It's like walking through the world with your eyes closed because you're afraid that what you see might attack you. So let me end the misery once and for all. It means that you are the very essence of love. You are the very essence of love. I'll say it one more time. You are the very essence of love. No matter what the so-called evidence seems to portray, no matter what you choose to believe, no matter any of it, you are the very essence of love. Trust me when I tell you that opening your eyes and seeing your true self shining in all its glory is not painful. That's insane to think that that would be painful. But that is what the ego believes. Seeing who you really are, seeing what really is happening, somehow could be painful. It isn't. Every symbol of pain disappears in this light, replaced by a world where everything you deserve has always been yours. A world where everything you deserve has always been yours. And all you need to do is to say yes. All you need to do is to open your eyes and to realize who you are. That original innocence that has never changed. That's why my favorite line in my favorite movie, you get extra points if you can tell me what the name of the movie is after I say the quote. So often in our obsession with original sin, we forget what? Original innocence. What's the movie? Brother, Son, Sister, of course.
Fight Club.
Fight Club. That's my second favorite movie, Fight Club. I'm probably the only so-called whatever who has, those are his two favorite movies, Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon and Fight Club. That's Vicky's favorite movie too, right? No, just kidding. Vicky would never watch a movie like Fight Club. Just rest in that knowledge for a moment that you are perfect and whole as you were created. There's nothing you can do to change that. Thank God. Thank God I'm powerless to change the changeless. All I can do is choose to see. And I begin by choosing to see that in you and you and you and you and everyone, because I can't see it in you without also realizing it within myself. What I give to thee is received by me. How simple is salvation? All I need to do is to make the choice to see as God sees, to love as God loves, to know what God knows. So then the question is simply, what does God know? Well, that you are whole, that you're beautiful, and that waking up is not painful. So Vicky, I'm going to keep it short and simple today, and I'm going to turn it over to you. So did you like my joke about Fight Club? Probably not.
Oh, yes, I'm going to use that one, Jimmy. All right. But consider this. dear brother, and everyone, consider this. Jesus says, don't worry about what you chose a billion years ago for separation. Look at what you're choosing now. Look at what you're choosing now. And Jimmy, you talk about desire a lot. What is it we're desiring? And one of the ways that we can recognize what we are desiring and why we experience difficulty is to look at the entertainment we choose. How Telco
Oh no.
entertaining the ego in our own mind. How do we justify and validate fight, fight, fight to get to happy, holy? Not me. No, I don't want to do that. Not me, but all of us. And not just with the movies we watch. What about the news? How many are attracted to listening to the news? Oh, it's horrible. Oh, it breaks my heart. Oh, this or that. But why are we drawn to it? I've looked at this for years, so I'm only sharing my own experience. But if we want to see the choice we're making, the willful choice we're making for separation, all we have to do is open our eyes to what we are choosing to look at. And it can be a very sobering thing. What entertains me? What do I think? What gets me going? Is it love that's getting me going? Is it fear that's getting me going? This is so simple. We will see what we have willed and chosen to see in our mind. So, if we're seeing devastation, at least it puts us back in the position to make another choice. So now, oh, I see I'm attracted to the news or to horror movies or to scary things. Roller coasters, talk about a death wish. Here, let's go on a roller coaster. Let's live our lives on a roller coaster. Those are our wishes fulfilled. So, the way to come into the experience of the love that we are is to recognize the places we're choosing against it and make a better choice. And so, what I do is if I see I'm attracted to something that's fear based, everything is either fear based or love based. It really is that simple. That's why there's no mystery, like Jimmy, that quote you did before, there's no mystery in peace. Peace is self evident. It's either love or it's war, and it's our choice. If we choose to let our desires, if we choose to recognize and take responsibility for our desire, for fear, we can make a better choice and say, I don't think so anymore. I want the love of God. I want love. I want love everywhere. I want my whole universe full of love. And then this is the practice of forgiveness. And then sit back. Don't condemn myself. Don't condemn my brother. Don't try and change anybody out there. Let me just say, wow, this is my will for fear. This is where I've chosen separation. Not today. Not today. Today, I'm going to smell the roses. I'm going to bless everyone. I'm going to sit in the beauty of a snowfall or rain falling. I'm going to let these desires that I've had come up and let them go. It isn't about fighting them. It's about no longer entertaining them. I'm no longer being so fascinated and engaged by them and getting all worked up about them. Because peace isn't about getting worked up. It's about just celebrating and welcoming. It's about resting in that knowledge. But we cannot rest in the truth of who we are while we're desiring to be something else. And one of the witnesses, the ways we recognize what we are desiring, is to look at what entertains us and to make a better choice. But to take that choice and say, okay, this is my desire, this is it right here, I've nailed it, and I'm going to sit here and make a better choice. It's pretty simple. So I don't know. For me, it has to be this practical because remember, it's today's lesson. Any of you doing the workbook, it's only my grievances and my desires that block who I am. Who I am is already complete. I don't have to do anything. I just have to stop blocking it. So as we recognize the places that we are in our own way, we can make a better choice. I won't make that choice today. I don't want to be in my own way by desiring fear. Not today, just today. It's always right now, just right now. And that's taking responsibility. That's using what I see around me, the projection, to help me recognize how to heal rather than to continue to make the same choice for fear and separation. Thank you, Father James.
And thank you for the challenge.
Yeah.
And by the way, I should say that Fight Club is not my second favorite movie.
No, I know.
Maybe the fifth. But I really hear what you are saying. Look at what entertains us or what gets us going. And the news is such a good example, especially now with all the trauma and drama that is going on. Are we feeding that by, literally being entertained, even though it doesn't feel like entertainment? It's whatever we give our energy to. And we can choose, we can make the choice right now to give our attention, our energy only to love, only to grace. And so I'm going to throw out my Stephen King books. I'm going to stop watching Fight Club I don't watch it every month. At the most, every other month. All right. Thank you, Vicki. That was beautiful, as always. And we're just, I know I share the opinion of everyone here when I say, when you're coming back to Namaste, we want to love on you here. And all of you, please come and be with us. There are people like Akaldev, who's here right now doing a private retreat, and she shows up and she says, it's so different than just seeing like this little background, to see the whole thing and to be in the presence of all these mighty companions. So you are all welcome. And Vicki, we really want you to come back soon.
I would, Jimmy, I've worked for Jesus, JC Central, for, 40 or 50 years full time. Their benefits are great, but it's what you were talking about the other day. I have to live by the call. I do know I'm coming. I got that part, but I leave the when to when they give me my orders. Then doesn't matter the day. If it's go today, I'll get a ticket. I don't care if it's more or less. If they give me the orders to go, I'll be right there. But I know I'm coming. And because love is irresistible. And this family, the way to touch sometimes this family in time is to go to Namaste. And the letters, I should send you the letters that Akalde wrote from there to a bunch of us that are on that call in the afternoon, Step into Heaven. She was overjoyed. It was an experience of Christ's vision. She never heard barking dogs, and she didn't have awful smells or see any problems. She saw the radiance and the joy in absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. She didn't trip on one stone. And her letters, she sent us several letters before she started the retreat yesterday, were just radiance and shining, that she was ready for whatever this deeper experience she's coming into, because that's all she could see around her already. No barking dogs or fireworks and noise going on. So I have it on her.
Well, I see that Akaldev is actually here. She's in her room, but she's online. Akaldev, do you want to say anything about that? If you're muted, unmute yourself.
I'm not talking very much except to James, but I do want to say, Vicki, that I didn't delete your message. It's so you. It's like 60,000 emojis and everything in capital letters. And I love you, and you are wonderful of you. Thank you. I love you.
Yes, thank you. And you're enlightened when you can't send a text without at least 18 or 20 emojis. That's how Vicki communicates. You cannot get a text from her. There may be 3 words and 21 shiny rainbow angel emojis. How about Calico? You're out there somewhere. Would you like to share anything?
I'm here.
Hello, dear.
No, I love, again, the entertaining. What's entertaining you today? You know, I remember when I first started on this path of really applying A Course in Miracles, not just reading it, really applying it. And I remember having these thoughts early on. It's like, if I don't have something that's triggering me, that's going to be boring. That's going to be boring. I remember thinking that. And it's kind of like, it was just the way I was hardwired to fix stuff. So if there's nothing to fix, I'm going to be bored. And the reality is, once you enter into the mind of love, truly, well, there's no need for words. There's no need. I mean, someone even said this morning, you're so calm. It's like, I'm just not talking. That's really all I'm doing. It's not talking because there's nothing to talk about. I'm just enjoying being in love. And there's nothing else. And it's anything but boring. It's the most exciting place I've ever been. To not have something to fix or change or alter in any way. And I just need to say, see, I watch everything. I watch everything with God. I don't care what it is, news, whatever. And I do it primarily to see if I can truly be at peace no matter what I'm reading. And if there's something that hooks me, I call it hooking, then I know there's something for me to work on. So I use all these movies and crime dramas and everything else. It's not to entertain myself. It's to see, am I going to get hooked by this? No, they're really guilty. They should. It's like, you know, okay, what's there in my mind that says this person is guilty, no matter if it's on a TV screen or in person. So I use all movies. I've you know, I stop at the horror, but it's like, I really get, there's nothing that can really hook me if I'm in a place of peace in God's mind. And like I said, this is something that was so far outside my reality for most of my life. And to finally be here, it's like, wow, this is not boring. There's nothing boring about it. It's ecstatic. It's totally ecstatic. And I like this. And so I keep doing it because it's working. And I have never known anything in my world that worked all the time. And as a doctor, you know, God, I don't know if a doctor on the planet that doesn't wonder, well, this worked with these other people. How come it's not working with you? It was none of my business as a doctor to fix anything. And yet that's what my training was. So I had to let go of all that. In fact, there was a comment the other day about, oh, did you hear someone is, you know, suffering about something? And I had nothing to say. And it may come off as rude or mean, but, you know, how do you want me to answer that? You know, it's like, I join them in love and pray that they can find their innocence and their love, but I don't get involved with their innocence and their love. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned was stay out of their heads. Stay out of anybody's head. Stay in your head with God and love. And that was a hard one for me because I was, you know, I called myself an empath or whatever. So I could read people really well. I was hyper vigilant on reading people, and I had to stop all of that because that's just not helpful. It's like, you know, I'm entertaining enough in my own head. I don't need to take on whatever you're entertaining. You know, that's insanity. And so I guess, you know, I just love that people are waking up to this because it is an inside job, period. And all of it is for me to take on, no matter where I find it out there in the world. It's my mind that needs to be corrected. So thank you so much. And thank you, Vicki, for introducing me to the world of what am I entertaining? Perfect.
I love these different perspectives. Either watch only Disney movies like Vicky. That may be an exaggeration, but watch what is entertaining you. And as Calico said so beautifully, use it all. Use every bit of it to see what hooks you, to see where you're still dependent upon the drama. And if you can watch any of these things, the news or a movie or read a book, and not be hooked, great. You know, it reminds me of a great line in another one of my very favorite movies, which I'm sure Vicky has never seen, called Gladiator, where there's all this terrible death happening in the Colosseum, and what's his name in the movie? No, what is it? Maximus. He knows the whole name, Maximus. He yells out, "Are you not entertained? I've just killed all these people. Are you not entertained?" And it forces them to look at that. And it's forcing us to look at it. What is it that's entertaining us? Can you watch it and not be hooked? Can you stay in that place of peace no matter what? It's a great lesson. So you choose whatever path you want, whether it be Vicky's path or Calico's or somewhere in the middle. But see what entertains you. See what hooks you. Beautiful lesson. Thanks, guys. That was wonderful. Okay, let's just take a pause for a moment. We are so blessed to be able to join together, to activate this energy, to join as mighty companions, and to send this blessing out, to join with whoever is in most need, whether it be those refugees streaming across the border or someone right next door. We don't need to know how to direct this love and this light, because the love and the light knows more than we ever could. We simply are here to feel and then to extend the truth of who we are and have always been, our original innocence. Amen. So why don't we go ahead and we'll close with our final prayer. Let me pull it up on the screen here. Here is our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thursday.
I love you all.
Thank
Love
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye bye for now.